Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Mm, Right. So I think yesterday we have been doing this program on files and all. I think you have understood how to use files, how to take the input, and how to put the output. I hope you have tried for few more things also. Wherever you take the values, individual values, and return the values, and so not more than that is required. It's enough for that wrapper where we could keep something in the file and where we get something in the file. So if time permits, there is no need of any graphics for XY coordinates. If really time permits, we will try to do it. Today we just discuss about Scratch, and I will ask you a few questions about this only. Okay, so you will understand what is what, how you need to prepare. The first thing is you see the screen of the Scratch, right? The first and foremost thing that you need to know is what is this area called where my cursor is moving. Can anybody tell me what is this area? Where the sprite is there.
Stage areas.
Yes, it's a stage area. So, what is this area called where the instructions are there? You can check out in the internet in which area the instructions will be placed like that.
Script editor.
No, script editor is where you edit something. Okay, so I think there is small name that was given on the bottom of the screen. Can you see that name? What is that name called?
Backpack, sir.
Backpack.
Backpack.
Backpack. So actually, in the backpack, you are having something like all the instructions, and this is also called block pellets. Okay, you will call it as block pellet also, and you will have it in the backpack, right? Can anybody tell me who created this Scratch programming?
By MIT.
Yes, it is created by MIT. What is the full form of MIT? Can anybody tell me?
It's a university in some city.
Marshmallow. Sir, Massachusetts.
Yes,
Yeah.
Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It was
Technology.
located in Massachusetts. That's why it is called by that name, like we call IIT Kharagpur or something. Okay. Actually, it's a private university. It's not government one, but still they have named it alongside of this thing. I think world top 100 universities, most of them are private universities, not government ones actually. Okay, right. So, how many sprites you can accommodate at a time?
Sir, one?
Why
No, many.
Like at a time, like or in the one program?
Yeah, it really comes with ambiguity, right? It really comes with ambiguity. You might be thinking that at a time you are thinking like it is regarding the script. But what I want to say is when you play the particular thing, what Agarwal has said is somewhat correct, but regarding script, I did not ask. For one script, if I ask you how many sprites can we accommodate, you can only say one. But if I say how many sprites you can accommodate at a time, it means that I did not mention the script, right? So it means that at a play stage, you can accommodate n number of sprites at a time. Did you understand? So you can create a racing car game. I think one of the student from your section or the other section has created. He has created many cars at a time. They are all running past each other. So I want to ask only this one, not script. For each script, you can only accommodate one sprite because that sprite is moved by that particular script. Okay, all of you understood, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, what is the statement that you use to repeat the loop continuously infinite times?
Forever.
Yes,
Forever.
it is forever, forever. What is the statement that you use for looping something n number of times?
Repeat.
Repeat.
Yes,
Repeat.
it should be
Repeat.
repeat. So, in the same way, I can also give you the questions like which cannot be possible in the Scratch. For example, I can ask you something like this. In Scratch, you can play music, okay? You can move the sprite, you can drag and drop the blocks, instruction blocks. You cannot, you cannot give a command, write a script, right? I can also give such a question. So I might give you the options like this. You can drag and drop the blocks. You can move the sprite. You can play music, and you can automatically write the script. So there is no button or any instruction to tell the computer or the Scratch program that you should do an automatic coding for the sprite, right? You are writing the instructions and code for the sprite. So there is no automatic writing like your Tesla car or Audi automatic cars or bench cars, right? So it cannot write the script on its own for a cat. You need to write. So these type of questions also might come. So there might be possibility like I can ask you also. Uh, can anybody tell me? Can Scratch allow motion sensing?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes. How do you motion sense it?
With the help of hand.
Hand, okay, but how do you get that? So you need to see this one.
Last block.
Yes, you need to add it from something called packages. Okay, so you have
We
packages like music package, pen package, video sensing.
Video sensing, sir. We
This
should
is
add it from video
what you
sensing.
need to see. So I might ask you any question. I will say, what is the package that is used to draw with a pen? You need to say pen package or text to speech. What is that? Like that, you need to understand these blocks actually and make them ready. Okay. I think it is very useful for you to even people who are belonging to IoT can also use this block. If you have Arduino or something, you can use to connect something and do this one. So connect your projects with the world. That's what it says. So you can do it on your own. Just study each block what is what and be ready for the questions. And Can you create a list in the Scratch or a variable on your own?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is true. So, for example, if you want to change a particular, if you have, for example, you have three images, three sprites with you, how do you change from one sprite to other sprite in the same
Next
script?
costume.
Yes, yes. So you need to use something called a block called costume, change costume or next costume. You need to every time change it. Okay. I might also ask you in which year the Scratch is invented or made by whom? You just check it in Wikipedia and tell me the answer. Check it in Wikipedia and tell me the answer and what year and by whom it was developed.
2003, sir.
Yes, sir. 2003.
Yes, 2003 and developed by whom?
MIT.
Yeah.
Mitch Resnick something.
Yes, who is that?
Mitch Resnick, sir.
Mitch Resnick.
Yes. So he is actually the head of the team, and there are people from master's degree and some research scholars also tried to do it for the school children and somewhat the starters of the code to understand what is code and to make the code a fun. So that is why they have developed a visual Scratch actually. Scratch I have seen long back, I think 5 years or 6 years back also I have seen. Not much development has happened, but there itself it was very good at the time. I downloaded the software at the time and I worked for it for some time actually. I found some interest on Scratch at that time. I do not see much change in that. I think few things have been changed because they want to make it much more complicated than easy thing. Like yesterday we have found, right? Finding
Yes.
out alphabets is very difficult, and
Yes.
older versions it is good, but I don't know why they have changed it suddenly. They have been taking this alphabets into not a case sensitive. If they are case sensitive, they can easily recognize what is lower and what is upper. In programming, it is very easy for us to find out because in program you can, if you go to C programming, you have ASCII codes, and if you go to Python and Java, you have unique codes. Okay, they are called unique codes. Why I say is because why you come to Unicode, that's what you need to learn. ASCII is nothing but American Standard Code for information interchange actually. So what they does is they have basically considered only English language. So they have considered the symbols that are used like dollar, pound or something, and A to Z, both capital and small, 0 to 9 number system. All are characters actually. Okay, they are not considered as numbers there, but 0 to 9 are also considered as characters. Plus, minus, everything is considered as part of ASCII code, and the total values they occupy is 127, but the minimum memory that we got is 8 bits, as I told you earlier. If you switch on all the 8 bits, the maximum number that you get is 255 because you start with 2 power 0 and you end with 2 power 7. If you all on the bits with 1, then you will have a number called 2, I think it is 256. Okay, total 257. Okay, 256 values will be there. So just we accommodated 127 out of 128. 0 to 127 has been accommodated with all the English letters and all. Remaining 127 have been taken out by these remaining 128, I think, have been taken out by different countries like Russia, Sweden, Germany, because they have a lot of different characters. Have you ever seen that on U there are two dots, on O there are two dots for Swedish and German, and Russian letters are entirely different. So if there is some letter that is matching with their own character, they used that ASCII code, otherwise they have included it. But later on, there are many developments in computer science that they even started to recognize the Indic values, Japanese, the Chinese, or the Arabic. Every language is also important in the world because the internet has to go to every step, every doorstep. So even if a person who is in Telugu can also access the government website, read some information in Telugu, and he can process that. So if you don't know English, okay, fine, you can also read Telugu. There are options for it. Every country has options both with their English and the local language, except Russia, I think. Every language, every country allows both English and their local language. So to accommodate these characters like something, whatever the Indic languages are there, the Arabic and Chinese graphical representations, they started to implement something called Unicode, and it started to get into touch with Java mainly in 1991 and 92. They started to implement it. Now using Unicode, you can also write some Telugu script using your own program in Python actually. So I will also demonstrate you how you can do it. You can write Om. If you are if you really like Om symbol, you can write Om. You can write all the alphabets in Telugu, Hindi, Sanskrit, everything. Unicode is possible for that. So using Unicode only, people started to build the websites with these what we say Unicode scripting. So you can also use this. So what happened here in Scratch and from other programs is, in other programs you can easily distinguish between capital A and small a, but not in Scratch, because Scratch is built on some programming language. And actually I don't take Scratch as a programming language. It's an output of some programming language. Maybe they would have implemented the Scratch in C programming, I hope. Can you check out in Wikipedia in which programming language Scratch was implemented? That's also important question. Can anybody check out in which programming language or using which programming language Scratch is implemented?
Sir, Scratch 3.0 is Java, sir.
Java. Okay, the first implementation of Scratch?
Squeak,
Squeak,
sir.
sir.
C?
Squeak.
Weak. Okay. So I think they have used Java and implemented it. Java is okay, fine, because you can create graphics and all. I think you can also use Python to create this type of programming, because you create some blocks, put it into one thing, and you can drag and drop. Now for Python, I will, if Coursera is eligible, I will ask you some course to be registered, which is offered by University of Michigan. I like that course very much because it was enabled to learn Python along with the classes. You have some interactive textbook. What is this interactive textbook? Until unless you register in the course, you don't get access to that interactive textbook, which allows you to drag and drop the code which is in Python. So ఒక్కొక్కసారి వాళ్ళు ఏమి ఇస్తారంటే they jumble the statements, and it is your turn to make it in an order so that the output will be matching with their test case. సో అంటే ఇప్పుడు చూడండి పక్కన ఉంది కదా బ్లూ కలర్లో, అట్లాగా జంబుల్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇస్తారు. సో యూ నీడ్ టు డ్రాగ్ అండ్ అరేంజ్ దెమ్ ఇన్ అన్ ఆర్డర్ లైక్ దిస్. So by fixing them in an order, if you do it in wrong way, the output will be wrong. So you need to arrange in such a way that the output will be correct. So if Coursera is enabled, that is a very good course. We don't need to listen any videos in that. I want to just make you access the textbook for practice, and also we will do exercises that were given by them actually. So that was very good actually, instead of me giving the initial exercises, because I have some exercises which are related to competitive coding. So it is not useful to you in the initial days of learning code. So those exercises are very good. They ask you some scenario, a small scenario, to implement 1 to 10 numbers, to print 1 to 10 numbers using for loop. So until unless you use for loop, it will give you wrong answer. So that their evaluation is very good actually. So I will award the marks for that, and along with that you will get a certificate. So what I'm planning is that I will teach you the concept, and we all will collectively do that exercises in that course. And by the end of our 2 units, you will get one certificate, guarantee, because that certificate will be given as Python basic certificate. Why I'm saying 2 units? Because initially we will go through numbers, we will go through what is integer, what is float, and we stop at loops or something. There, after finishing, you will get one certificate. From third unit, we will again go to another certification. And after finishing all this course, I am trying to make it a little bit early to finish it, because I want to give you some mini projects. So we will do mini projects because we also have pandas. Using pandas, we can access Excel and all. So I always believe that using project, you will learn a lot on your own. So that's what I am planning for that. Okay. So coming back to this Scratch again, I want to ask you another question. So you know what is it implemented? The earlier version is in Speak, and the latest version is in Java. What is the default sprite for Scratch?
Cat.
Cat.
Cat, sir. Cat. Cat.
That is the default sprite. So I might give you different options like cat, pig, dog, monkey, cow, everything. But you need to identify cat. See, this is what we can give. What to do. Okay. Next thing is that if possible, I can give you like this. So I can give you these type of statements. Okay. I will say, I will miss this one and ask you to fill this. So in the middle, you need to fill this particular block. This is just an example I'm showing. If it is something like running, maybe cat should walk 100 steps, turn back and walk 100 steps. If it is the case, I will give you a few blocks like this and ask you to fill in the middle. But the problem is that we have that Excel sheet. I don't think that we can fit something in Excel sheet. If possible, I can fit an image. Okay. So that you need to identify which block is missing. I will also give the images of the block if possible, or at least I will try to write it if possible. So how I write it is, I will write something like glide 1 seconds to a random position, like that I will write it. So you need to understand it like a block if possible. Okay, this is another case I can give. So I can also give like this. If this is sensing, I can give you few names like touching color, distance to, and a wrong one also I will give. Maybe a wrong one, something like smell or sound, hearing or something I will give. You need to identify which is not part of sensing. Maybe I will also give some other, this operator or something. Maybe yes, letter of one. So I will mix this one with sensing options. I will give any 3 sensing options which are correct, and I will take one of the things that are really like change my variable into that. So you need to identify which is not part of this sensing block. Okay, did you understand that? Yes. Have you understood what I said?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
So that question also will be given. So how you study is, you look into each block, you see what are the different things that are there in each block. You see again and again, then you will remember it. I think it is very easy for you. There is nothing more to say, because you are at home, and when you are actually dealing with this particular test, definitely there is no need for me to hint. Also, you will definitely open Scratch and just check out immediately. Okay, that point is already there in your pocket. Okay, so these are some of the things I told you as an example. Now take some time to go through. You can ask me a few questions if you have. Let us try to figure it out if you have any doubts in this. I hope you understood what are the different types of questions I will give you. Please go through each one, know each block, what is what, and how, know the history. First point is know the history of Scratch, in the sense what is history, who invented it, at what time it was invented, and using what programming language it was implemented, and how many versions are there in the Scratch, and what is the latest version. These are the history of Scratch. Next thing is the skeleton of Scratch. The skeleton of Scratch in the sense, what are the different blocks that are there? Blocks in the sense, I'm not talking about the code. So you have something like code, costumes, sound, and in code you have backpack, you have block pellets, you have stage, such things you need to learn. The skeleton of Scratch. And then the next thing is that you need to know what are the code blocks that are there, and each code block contains what statements. Okay, this is another thing I will give you. And I might also ask you what are the additional packages that are there for you to understand. Okay, and I will also ask you few questions like what is the real functioning of Scratch, so what you can implement using Scratch and what you cannot. I think this question is also possible, which we have learned just now, like
Uppercase, lower.
uppercase, lowercase is also part of this question. Okay, so don't need to worry. This exam you will score well because Scratch is not too important according to me. But still, I am trying to give some questions which you might think a little bit. You might search it at least. Okay, you open Google and search actually. So anyway, you will get good marks, don't worry. But after this one from Raptor, the real dancing starts for us. You need to dance here and there to find out the answers to get down with a good mark semester credit. Okay, so now go through all these things, take time and you go through. If you have any doubts, let me try to clarify you. Why I'm try because I'm not too expert in Scratch. Okay, let me try to clarify you if you have a doubt, right?
Sir, will you conduct the exam through Google Form or Geetam quiz?
It should be, I think, Google Form. Most of us are using Google Form. So because it is Google Form, I can create images. Yes, I got a very good hint actually. I will connect it with Google Form. I will create some, script, and I will ask you to identify what is that missing script.
Okay.
Because it is our own exam, each instructor is conducting his own exam for his own class. So we can go through Google Form because most of the instructors are using Google Form.
Okay.
Earlier, we used to conduct in Excel because we have common question paper, and we used to. It is a mid exam actually. Earlier, in the sense, just before semester during COVID time only, we have computes and we used to upload these things as a quiz into that using Excel. But now we use Google Forms, which is much more easier.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So you will have 30 minutes of time, and you will have 20 bits, 10 marks, 1 mark, 10 bits, 1 mark, 10 bits, 2 marks. Okay. For 2 marks, you might expect these block type of statements, which I give an image and I will ask you like this. So I will ask you like this, Amma. You just look into this. For example, I give this image. I'll give the options like this. I will put it as A. I'll put it as B. No, no. I will put it as option B. I will put it as option C, something. In the downside, I will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will give you A as 1, B as 2, C as. So you need to tick which one is there, because I cannot give this image as an option. Image cannot be given as an option. So I will just give you numbers for this A, B, C, D, and this A, B, C, D I will put it in the multiple choice. So first option is A, second option is B, third. You need to tick which one is correct that can be fit here. So I think you need to test it. You should open the Scratch there and test it, all these things. But if you got an idea, you can directly keep it, because if there are 20 bits and 10 minutes, I think you can estimate that you are having maybe for each bit, how many minutes are there? Maybe 1.5 minute or something, right? I think 1.5 minute for each bit. So in this 1.5 minute, you need to test it and immediately find out the answer. That is what you need to understand. So prepare for that 20 bits, 10 1 mark, 10 2 marks.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, Paul.
Sir, in the Scratch, how to have the power things are 2 power 5, some 2 power 6, something like that.
No, if there is something that is there in the block, that's fine. But otherwise, you need to use repeat. You go to events. If you are asking 2 power something, you go to repeat. And how many times you will repeat? It is maybe
5 times.
3 means maybe 3 times
Okay.
repeat. And you multiply 2 into 2. You know how to multiply and addition everything, right? So you go
Yes.
to operators and you take the multiplication symbol. This is multiplication. This is, I think, okay. You put it in somewhere, some block, and identify. That's how you need to do the power.
Okay. And sir, the one more thing is what is the use of that in that thing, sir? Join apple and banana, that things.
Join apple and banana in the sense it is joining of 2 strings. If you do it, if you click it somewhere, see how the answer will come. Apple, banana. So I will write here Kranti and here
Like names.
yesterday how we have done it in Raptor.
Okay.
Kranti Kiran, they have been joined. This is called
Okay.
string concatenation. Like yesterday we have done in the put symbol.
Yes, yes. Okay.
That's what you need to just look into each and everything and identify what is what. So we cannot do everything in the scratch, right? I don't encourage also for that. It is your turn to explore a lot in scratch. Please take this time to explore, and if you have any doubts, you can ask me. We will collectively find out what is what. Don't sit idle, because tomorrow you might get some doubt and nobody can help you in the exam because time is very less. Everybody has his own way to do the problems. మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద టైమ్ ప్లీజ్ ట్రై టు ఆన్సర్ యువర్ ఓన్. మీకు అందరికీ తెలుగు అర్థమైతే ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తాను. నేను ఒకరోజు తెలుగు ఎగ్జామ్ రాస్తున్నాము. మనకి సెంటెన్స్ రైటింగ్ అని ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. ఒక చిన్న వర్డ్ ఇస్తాడు, దాని నుంచి సెంటెన్స్ రైటింగ్ రాయాలి. చాలా వరకు నేర్చుకున్నాను. నాకు ఒక వర్డ్ తెలియలేదు. అదేంటంటే నల్లపూస అని ఇచ్చాడు వాడు తెలుగులో. ఇట్స్ ఇన్ 5th క్లాస్ ఐ థింక్. 5th 4th క్లాస్‌లోనో. అప్పటిదాకా నాకు కాపీ కొట్టడం కూడా పెద్దగా తెలీదు. ఫస్ట్ టైము నాకెందుకో మార్కులు పోతున్నాయని అనిపించి నేనేం చేశానంటే కాపీ కొట్టడం చాలా తప్పని నా ఫీలింగ్ అప్పటికే. బట్ స్టిల్ కక్కుర్తి. మనకి మార్కుల గురించి కక్కుర్తేసి పక్కన ఒకడిని అడిగా. ఆడేదో పెద్ద తెలివి గలోడిలాగా చాలా కాన్ఫిడెంట్‌గా చెప్పాడు. నల్లపూస అంటే ఏంట్రా? సెంటెన్స్ ఫిల్ చేయరా అంటే, గాంధీజీ నల్లపూస వంటివాడు. గాంధీజీ నల్లపూస వంటివాడు అన్నాడు. నా బొంద నాకేం తెలుసు? నేను శుభ్రంగా నల్లపూస అంటే ఏంటో రాసేసా హ్యాపీగా. రాసేసిన తర్వాత గాంధీజీ నల్లపూస వంటివాడు అని రాసి ఇంటికొచ్చి, అమ్మ నాకు ఫుల్ మార్క్స్ వస్తాయి ఎందుకంటే నల్లపూస కూడా రాసేసానన్నాడు. ఏం రాసాడని మా మదర్ అడిగారు. అప్పుడు నేను చెప్పా, గాంధీజీ నల్లపూస వంటివాడని ఒకడు చెప్పాడమ్మా నా పక్కన నా ఫ్రెండ్, రాశానమ్మా అని చెప్పి. ఫస్ట్ అడిగినందుకు ఒక దెబ్బ వేయటమే కాకుండా నన్ను తర్వాత ఒక తిట్టు తిట్టారు. నల్లపూస అంటే కనిపించకుండా పోయేవాడు అని అర్థం అంట. అంటే ఏంటి? కోర్స్ గాంధీజీ ఇప్పుడు కనపట్లేదు అనుకో, బట్ గాంధీజీ ఈజ్ వెరీ ఫేమస్ పర్సన్. గాంధీజీ ఇప్పుడు జనరల్‌గా మనకు తెలుగులో వాడతారు. ఏంటి బొత్తిగా నల్లపూస అయిపోయావు అంటే వై ఆర్ యూ ఇన్విజిబుల్ నౌ ఏ డేస్ అంటానికి నల్లపూస అయిపోయావు అని అంటారు. ఓకే. గాంధీజీ నల్లపూస అని ఎలా వాడతాను? అసలు గాంధీజీ లేనే లేరు ఆ మనిషి ఇప్పుడు. ఉన్నా కూడా ఆయన చాలా ఫేమస్. ఆయన నల్లపూస ఏం కాదు. అంటే కనపడకుండా దాక్కుని ఇంట్లో దాక్కునేవాడిని నల్లపూస అంటాం. సో ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ద్వారా నేను చెప్పేది ఏంటి అంటే మనం కాపీ కొట్టడానికి ట్రై చేసినప్పుడు మనకు చాలామంది తెలివిగల వాళ్ళు తగులుతూ ఉంటారు. సో వాళ్ళ నుంచి మనం చాలా తప్పులు రాసుకుంటూ ఉంటాం. ఇన్‌స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ దట్ మనమే కాసేపు కూర్చొని మన బ్రెయిన్‌తో ఆలోచిస్తే ఎక్కడో చోట మనం ఆ వర్డ్ ఇనే ఉండుంటాం కదా! అది ఆలోచించి రాసుండాల్సింది. ద సేమ్ థింగ్ హ్యాపెన్స్. నౌ డోంట్ ఆస్క్ ఎనీబడీ. అడిగే దాని మీద ఎక్కువ కాన్సంట్రేషన్ పెట్టొద్దు. చదువుకునే దాని మీద పెట్టండి. మాకు రూమ్మేట్ ఉండేవాడు. యాక్చువల్లీ హీస్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఎ వెరీ ఇంటెలిజెంట్ స్టూడెంట్. బట్ ఐ డోంట్ నో వై ఆడికి బద్ధకం వల్ల ఏమో కానీ మేము రూమ్‌లో 2:00 వరకు చదువుకునేవాళ్ళం. మళ్ళీ 4కి లేసేవాళ్ళం. ఎగ్జామ్స్ వస్తే సెమిస్టర్ ఎగ్జామ్స్. వాడేం చేసేవాడు తెలుసా? మేమందరం చదువుకుంటున్నప్పుడు పడుకొని 2:00 లేసి ఒక పెద్ద పేపర్ ఒకటి తీసేవాడు. ఎంత మంచి తెలివిగలవాడంటే వాడు, ఆ పేపర్‌లోనే ప్రతి చాప్టర్‌ని ఇరికించేసేవాడు ఆడు. స్లిప్ అనమాట అది యాక్చువల్‌గా. 2-4 వరకు లైట్లు ఆఫ్ చేసి పడుకోరా అంటే లైట్లు ఆన్ చేసి చాలా చక్కగా నీట్‌గా చిన్న చిన్న అక్షరాలతో రాసుకొని జేబులో పెట్టుకొని వెళ్ళేవాడు. పాస్ అయిపోయేవాడు. మేము అనేవాళ్ళం, "అరే! ఫైనల్ సెమిస్టర్‌లో ఫైనల్ ఎగ్జామ్‌లో నువ్వు పట్టుబడాలిరా భలే ఉంటదని." ఆడు నిజంగా అలాగే పట్టుబట్టాడు. బట్ వాడిని డిబార్ చేయకుండా వదిలేశారు. ఎలాగో ఇంకెళ్ళిపోతున్నాడు కదా అని. సో అట్ వన్ డే వి మైట్ ఫాల్ ఇంటు ద పిట్ ఇఫ్ యూ రియల్లీ డూ సమ్ రాంగ్ థింగ్. రాకపోతే వదిలేసేవాడినే గానీ, ఎప్పుడు కూడా అట్లాంటిది తలుచుకోలేదు. కాపీ కొట్టడానికి ఎప్పుడు ప్రయత్నించలేదు. ఆ నల్లపూస ఇన్సిడెంట్ నుంచి అసలు అనుకోలేదు. ఇది చాలా వరస్ట్ కేస్ అని అనిపించింది నాకు. ఎవడినో అడిగేదేంటి, మనకు మనం రాద్దాం తెలిస్తే, లేకపోతే ఫెయిల్ అయిపోదాం. దట్స్ ఆల్. దిస్ ద ఓన్లీ థింగ్. So observe yourself in the scratch exam also. Take your scratch. I don't say that don't even take the scratch. Observe what is the output. You check out what are each blocks called and you just put the answer. That's all. Don't ask anybody from your friends. ఆ కక్కుతొద్దు.
Sir, can we use scratch during exam?
That's your wish. If you challenge yourself that I don't use scratch but I can write the exam, you can write. But even if I stop, don't use scratch, 50% of the people will use scratch for writing the exam. I know.
Yes.
So I make something illegal as legal now. So if I'm making legal, I think, have you heard about open book exams in
OTB. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Open
Yes,
book
sir.
exams are really, you know, once you're writing an exam and you know, they have provided us with charging points. They asked us to bring the laptops and you know, we can chat. Internet is also provided. We can chat with our friends, but nobody knows the answer for each and every question. That's how difficult they have given. So they have made something copy as legal, but you cannot even copy that question, copy that answer. You don't know the answer actually. Nobody knows the answer. Even if you ask 100 members, everybody will say, "Hey, what is the answer?" The answer will come as what is answer. క్వశ్చన్కి క్వశ్చనే ఆన్సర్ తప్ప అక్కడ ఎవడో ఆన్సర్ చెప్పడం. అంత డిఫికల్ట్గా ఇచ్చేవాళ్ళు. ఛార్జింగ్ పాయింట్స్ ఇచ్చి మరీ ఇంత డిఫికల్ట్గా ఏడిపించారా అని నవ్వుకున్నాం మేము. If you have a laptop, you have internet in your hand and you have chatting box which you can chat with your friends, but still we cannot answer the question. So if most people try to answer scratch, okay, we will try to give the same thing in the scratch exam also. No, don't worry, I will give it easy, no problem. So I don't stress too much on scratch, but from next time onwards, don't think that much of easy thing will come. Okay, for this time I am allowing to be easy because this is the first time you are writing the exam in an engineering. ఇది బోని బేరం కాబట్టి కొంచెం స్లోగా అవుతాం, చిన్నగా, మరి టఫ్గా ఏడిపించే అంత అక్కర్లా. But you studied in a tough manner, but write exam easily. That's why my mother and father used to say, if you study with a tough environment, you will have an easy life. If you have your easy life earlier, you will have tough life later. That's vice versa. Anyway, that should happen. Okay, then you can leave the class. We will meet in the afternoon because you need to migrate to the other class. Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
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 Thank you, sir.